this bright. It was easy to see the horrible feeling I have caused to my cousin by carelessly stealing our next visit. I was allowed to put it silently back. That car with orange stripes and a body of black. And since then, I have quit forever the stealing. I don't think there ever could be a more brilliant lesson in empathy. Toastmasters, as our presiding officer told about Darcy's medley, he felt for those young gentlemen and he felt the need to help them, how they can speak better, how they can conduct meetings, and how to plan the programs, how to work on committees, and he wanted to serve them, to help them, and that is why he formed a Toastmasters club. Toastmaster was a popular term that referred to a person who gave toast at banquets and other occasions. He served, and then, as rightly pointed out by President, that one club mushroomed like a banyan tree across 5 continents, and today it is more than 146 countries. Now, empathy is something that serves someone, helps someone, because we feel for someone. Our past president of India, Dr. Abdul Kalam, was asked, who is handsome? He said, the one who lends his hand to some, the one who lends his hand to serve someone, handsome. Today, we also have someone who continues to lend his hand to someone. But before that, we need to understand that the world needs leaders. Leaders help its family, coaches team, runs business, and mentors others. These leaders must not accomplish, they must communicate. By regularly giving speeches, giving feedback, leading team, and guiding others to achieve their goals in a supportive atmosphere, leaders emerge from the Toastmasters program. Every Toastmasters journey beginning with a single speech. During their journey, they learn to tell their story. They listen and answer. They plan and lead. They give feedback and accept it. Through our community of learners, they find their path to leadership. A normal Toastmasters meeting has 3 sessions. In cricketing parlance, session number 1 is like a test match session, prepared speech, where a lot of net practice goes beyond the speech, prior to the speech. A speech is prepared by the speaker as per the project. His mentor also checks it, and then he comes and gives the speech in front of a Toastmasters meeting, and for which he has a dedicated evaluator. Session number 2 is like 2020 table topic, speaking on the spot for a short period, 1 to 2 minutes. And the session number 3 is like the post-match session, the feedback session, or the evaluation session. To moderate the evaluation session, we do have a handsome person who believes whose motive in life is to serve Toastmasters fraternity as servant leader. And for him, empathy means bearing in unison with the feeling expressed. Today's moderator or the general evaluator, we are honored to have the past district director 2017-18 of District 98. He has been a Toastmaster for over 12 years and chartered clubs or is a chartered member of Bombay Toastmasters Club in Mumbai. So, can others go on mute, please? A lot of sound is coming. You are able to hear me? Yeah, good. This gentleman held leadership positions at clubs, area, division, and district. President distinguished district for the district is 2017 and 18. He was recognized for superior achievement and dedicated leadership, as well as for club extension and retention at the international conference held in August 2018 in Chicago. He retired as a professional, having worked in top management and multinational companies like Bennett Coleman. I was part of Times, which is part of Times of India Group. Then Mukund Limited, Coffee Manners, and others. He's also a member of Rotary Club of Thane for 15 years, where he serves on the board at various committees. So Toastmasters, please join me in welcoming the one and only, the past district director, DTM Arvind Nair. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters and future Toastmasters. Thank you for the introduction, and it's my pleasure to be attending this meeting here over a virtual meeting. As general evaluator, it's my duty to evaluate the whole meeting today and to suggest any recommend any suggestions that I have to improve on the meeting. For this, I do also have a couple of role players with me. Let's begin with the grammarian. The grammarian for today is Binu Das. And may I ask Mr. Das to let us know his role for today.
Thank you, Toastmasters Arvind. Very good evening to all the Toastmasters here and dear guests. My name is Bidhu, and I would be playing the role of grammarian for today's meeting. My objective is to identify the good usages and the not so good usages of grammar in all of your speeches. It is my duty to introduce the word for the day. The word for the day is predilection. The meaning of predilection is to have a preference for something. I would give an example of the uses of the word predilection. Here it goes. I have a predilection for horror movies. I would give a thumbs up to all the people who use the word predilection in their speeches. That's all from my side. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmasters.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bidhu Das. The next role player I would like to invite is Shanan, who is the R counter for today.
Hello and good evening, Toastmasters. I'm Shanan. I'll be taking the role of our counter for this meeting. Okay, so I'll start with a simple example. Imagine you want to watch a movie and you have two options. So one is watching a HD movie and other one is you have to watch it.
Shanan, can you keep earphones both? Yeah, second one also.
Not audible?
Yeah, keep your mic closer, little closer. Yes.
Is
Keep
it
the mic
audible now?
closer. Yeah. Now it's better.
If it, yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So imagine you want to watch a movie and you have two options. One is you will watch it in HD quality, and one more is predelection, where it has scratches and you get stuck somewhere, and the video quality will not be that good. In the first case, it is like having awesome quality video. So which one would you watch? It is obviously you will watch the first one, right? So same is the case with the speaker. Uh, a speaker is expected to deliver a speech which is of high quality and smooth and very crisp. So that's what is expected. The speaker needs to keep in mind four things, that is CRPF. C stands for crutch words, repetition of words, filler words, and pauses. So um, these four things a speaker needs to keep in mind, and the role here is uh, to bring the awareness in the speaker's mistakes and promote the effectiveness in the speech. So I'll be noting down the mistakes made by the speaker, and at the end of the meeting, I'll be giving out a report on that. Yeah, thank you. Over to you, Sir Arvind, sir.
So you're on mute.
Arvind, sir, we can't hear you.
And thank you very much, Shanan. Now may I invite Mayur to explain his role for the at the meeting, please.
Thank you, Evaluator Arvind sir. So today, as a timer, I will be counting your time of your speeches and table topics. For table topics, the time will be 2 minutes. 1 minute, I'll show green screen. Then for 1.5 minutes, I'll show amber screen, and 2 minutes I'll show red screen, and I will give 30 seconds of grace period for table topics. For prepared speeches, we have two 5 to 7 minutes of speeches. For both of them, I'll give 5 minutes, 6 minutes, and 7 minutes. For green, amber, and red card, respectively. And for one speech of 2 3 minutes, for that I'll give uh, green card at 2 minutes, amber card at 2.5 minutes, and red card at 3 minutes. For every speeches, 30 seconds is a grace period. Uh, and over to you, General Elevator.
Thank you, Mayur. So these will be the role players who would assist me in the general evaluation through the meeting. And now may I hand it over back to the Toastmaster of the day, Milind.
Thank you, General Evaluator, DTM Arvind. Now we start with the first session. So before I invite the speaker for the first session, I would request his evaluator, Toastmaster Ashwin, to give the project objectives and details. As far as Toastmaster Ashwin is concerned, he was a Toastmaster with our club some time back. In between, he left us, and again, we have him back. So over to you, Toastmaster Ashwin. Go ahead.
Thank you, Toastmaster Milind. The purpose of this project is for the member to practice using the vocal variety to enhance the speech. This is the objective of the speech, and I'll be evaluating the speaker on the parameters for this criteria. Thank you, and wish you all the best for the speaker. Over to you.
Timing, please. How much is the timing?
Timer, please note the timing for the speech is 5 to 7 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Ashwin. The speaker is someone who just gave us his presidential address. So please join me in welcoming Toastmaster Srinu Babu. The title of the speech is Second Opinion. The second opinion, Toastmaster Srinu Babu.
My bus is going dazzling speed for on the industrial trip. I was enjoying fully. That was my final engineering year. There is no limits for enjoyment. We are all dancing in the bus. Bus just stopped in the Bangalore. I just came down and saw the weather. It was so amazing, blossoming air one side and pleasant environment across the my view. Rising Toastmasters and brilliant guests, a very good evening. Exactly 15 years back, my industrial trip, I went to Bangalore. It was very pleasant, and I decided I want to settle in Bangalore. And I came back. I was fully dreaming. I want to. I want to spend time in Bangalore. I saw that beautiful buildings, amazing malls. I never visited such malls in my life. Then, exactly 2 years, I got my seat. I got a college there, and I started living. I am enjoying each and every day. My dream came to the true. Even my father, my mother, all my family were so happy. Why? Because after 2 years of gap, I settled. I started some new thing. And one weekend, I am enjoying in the Bangalore stage. Suddenly, I received a phone call from my uncle. Down. Hello. No, it shouldn't happen. I'm coming in right away. Please take care of him. My dear friends, I received a call. My dad got a severe heart attack and he's in hospital. Without second thought, I took a just pair of clothes and I started running in the Bangalore street. Somehow I got some train, general compartment. I started my journey and throughout the journey, I was thinking about the beautiful memories of my parents. So much fear. I was keep on thinking, I don't know. I don't have full picture what is happened. Just a phone call. I keep on thinking, thank God, nothing should happen. I'm just imagining all the thoughts about my dad. I just landed at the hospital. I am at the ICU unit. They're not allowing me inside. I just saw through the window my dad is lying on the bed. Difficult to breathe. He fall down with 98% of heart stroke. I got some chance. I went to his bed. He is hardly able to speak and he said he's explaining all the debits, credits and all the finance whatever he saved for us. No, 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 no. Nothing will happen. Don't worry. Don't think anything about this. Then I was the sleepless nights for me. After few days, whole family members we are spending in the hospital outside. By God grace, my dad got from the hospital. He discharged from the hospital. Again, he's slowly recovering. But when he came out of that hospital, I don't have anything to talk. This fearful heart keep on beating for him. We just landed at home. Just he is recovering. After 2 weeks, he's very healthy. And again we went back to the doctor. Just normal checkup. My dear friends, you know what doctor said? I tried my best, but the operation got failed. Immediately, within 2 days, we have to do another operation. Then I begged, I hold doctor's leg and I begged, Doctor, whatever you want, you do. How much money you want, you take. But please, please save my dad. That is the only request I could make to the doctor. Then doctor, this body is very difficult architecture. I will try my best, but nothing guaranteed from my side. Anyway, you get that money ready by tomorrow and give a call. We will proceed further. Then I couldn't talk much with the doctor. She didn't allow me even. I came to my home. I didn't tell much. Everything fine. Then just for something, I'm thinking there is no other option for me to rethink on that. I took my father to a second doctor. He saw, hey, this was very nice. Operation came very well. What is the problem? No, doctor. This operation got failed miserably. We have to do operation in 2 days. Then guess what? That day, whatever operation done, we didn't touch anything. 15 year, 15 years over. Still, my father is healthy and running. And today, he is the backbone of my home. He is everything. Whatever sessions, still, it's a beautiful, amazing to follow. My dear friends, in our life, sometimes we completely lost, and you looks like it is a end, but there is always a second opinion. There is always friends are there to help you. Still, I could remember people who are ready to help me in that wonderful situation. Those empathic people, still I couldn't forget today. When you feel life is closed, don't forget there is a second option. It will help you definitely. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Srinu Babu. You took me to a very personal, touchy story of my mother. The second opinions, they are really at times very concerning. Good you did that. And I'm feeling quite relieved that your father is healthy now. Good. Now with this, we go to the second prepared speech. The second speech, which is there, he is attempting from Project Dynamic Leadership Level 2 Project 3. So before I call him, I would request his evaluator, Toastmaster Vandana, to give the speech objectives.
And can we go to the next speaker? Is that all right?
Yeah, please go. So Shubhuti has not joined?
Yeah, so he was asking if he can join after table topic.
No.
I've tried.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
Is that okay? Yeah. Oh.
Fair enough. So the next speaker, she will be attempting her special occasion speech. So before that, I would request her evaluator, Toastmaster Fidel, who has joined us all the way from Pretoria, South Africa, to give the objectives and to evaluate the speaker's speech. So over to Fidel.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Milind. Am I audible?
Yes, please go ahead.
Fantastic. So the objective of Deepa's speech is to deliver a roast. That means that we're in for a good time because she actually has to deliver a humorous speech in which she's going to, give me just 1 second for this part. Sorry. In which she is going to poke fun at a particular individual in a good-natured way. adapt and personalize humorous stories from other sources, deliver jokes and humorous stories effectively. So, in 3 to 5 minutes, she has to get us laughing with very funny stories, jokes, and anecdotes. Deepa, I'm really looking forward to your roast. I feel sorry for whoever you're going to be making fun of, but I'm sure all of us will enjoy it.
So the speaker for me, she's my mentor, she's my graduate, she's my whatever any help, she's my man Friday. Anything I have a problem with my technical issues, whether it is my how to make a vlog or something, she's always there. And any time of the day, any time of the night too. And she keeps on going. She's like that. In India we had a 400 meters runner called PT Usha, who was called as a Kerala Express, who almost missed a bronze medal at Los Angeles. For me, our speaker is like a express, because she has been giving speeches everywhere, not only within Bangalore, not only within India, but across the globe. And not only that's one good thing about her. Everyone in advance and ensure that everyone is tagged in. And thanks for her, we are having a lot of international role players over here. So please join me in welcoming Toastmaster Deepa, the roast Toastmaster Deepa.
Good evening, Toastmasters and esteemed guests. Hope you're all doing good this evening. I request your help to reveal the guest of honor for today's roast. Have you asked?
Deepa, can you keep mic closer? Can you keep mic closer? Yes.
Good evening, Toastmasters and esteemed guests. Hope you're all doing good this evening. I request your help today to reveal the guest of honor for today's meeting, or what should I call roast. How you ask? I want you all to close your eyes for a second. Eyes closed, please. Take a deep breath. And now, imagine Superman in your heads. Yes, the one who wears underwears above the pants, has an S across the chest, red cape, blue shirt, blue pants. And now imagine that this Superman fancies wearing black blazers and is a Toastmaster. And he also wears two Toastmaster pins on his lapel. Members, I know you already got the picture. And to guess, remove Christopher Reeve's face and attach Toastmaster Srinu's face. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, today's guest of honor is none other than Superman Srinu. Whenever, whenever I think of Srinu, I can only think of Superman. Come on, guys. Who else? Who else meditates 40 minutes daily? Listens to motivational podcasts, usually from Zig Ziglar, daily. Plays with his children daily. Goes to a gym, works out 3 days a week. That is a weekly thing. Attends at least 2 Toastmasters meeting weekly. Oh, I almost forgot. He's mentoring and coaching another club called Kaggadasapura Club at CV Ramanagar. And all this while still being the president of our club and juggling a full-time job as a senior software engineer at McAfee Software Limited. And he's responsible for the global release of antivirus software. Now, who else could pull this but a Superman? That's Superman Srinu for you. Now, I went probing behind and I went to his family, started asking him how Srinu is like at home. And first thing, I talked to his wife. His wife told, "Oh, Srinu is married to me, but also got a girlfriend, and the girlfriend is Toastmasters." Next, I went to his brother. His name is Tirumala, and he said, "Oh, my brother, he he spends 5 days of each week preoccupied with Toastmasters, and the remaining 2 days he spends time with his favorite thing, which is Toastmasters. And I went to his children. He has two kids, one boy called Shrikar, and asked him. And he said, "Oh, daddy always is asking me, have you completed your pathway? Have you completed your pathway? I just don't get it. It's actually, have you completed your homework, guys?" Now, I must tell you, Srinu takes his job very seriously and is the VP membership at, of Toastmasters at his house. Now, his wife is a Toastmaster, his brother is a Toastmaster, his sister-in-law is a Toastmaster. So, this is a Toastmaster family, you guys. Now, earlier in this term, there was elections, and Srinu was telling me there's nobody to take up VP membership, and I was really stubborn. I hated taking memberships, but he's a hypnotic guy, Srinu, and he just manages to convince people. I thought I would never take that job, and he convinced me to take it. This is not the end of the story. After I became a VP membership, I was responsible only for 2 member induction, whereas Srinu got in 7 members. And you know what? You can see this on the screen, Toastmaster Mayur. I was in touch with him for 1 whole month, sending him all the inputs of what a Toastmaster is, what is it going to do to his life. Nothing happened. But Srinu picks up a call, calls Mayur. The next day, Mayur converts. And there's another person right on the screen, Bidu. Last week, Bidu attended our meeting. Bidu gets a call from Srinu. The next day, he converts. Man, I don't know what magic he holds. He's one big convincer. Srinu, in our offline meetings, Srinu has a very typical style of hosting the meeting. He gets us to an activity wherein he makes us all do a high five and tells, "You're a masterpiece." Superman Srinu, today is your turn, and give me a high five on the screen, please. You are a masterpiece, Srinu. Over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Deepa. I could relate to you, each and every word what you talked about our roast or our president, Srinu Babu. We really adore him, the way he manages. With this, now we are moving to the second 2020 session, the table topics session. Today's table topic.
Subhadeep is there. You can proceed.
Yes, come. Great, good. Okay, okay, excellent. Thank you. Fine, then we go back to our prepared speeches, the last one. The speaker for the second speaker or the third speaker who is there, he's attempting his dynamic leadership level 2, project 3. Before I ask him to give his speech, may I request his evaluator, Toastmaster Vandana. Toastmaster Vandana, over to you.
Good evening, everyone. So the purpose of today's speaker's speech is for the member to clearly define how Toastmasters envisions mentoring. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspect of a person's experience as a protege. Timer, please note, the timing is 5 to 7 minutes. Best of luck for today's speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Milind.
So when I asked the speaker, what does empathy means to him? He said, keeping yourself in a situation which the other person is dealing with. Absolutely right. He was spot on. So please join me in welcoming the Toastmaster Subhadeep Mukherjee. Speech title, She Who Helps You Finds Hope Inside You. She Who Helps You Finds Hope Inside You. Subhadeep Mukherjee.
It's breaking up a bit. I think your network is a little.
Yeah, Subhadeep, go ahead.
Is it better now? Or can you hear me, Vandana?
Yeah, we can hear you clear.
Yeah, go ahead,
It's
Subhadeep.
clear?
Excellent. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Once again, you can reset the time. Thank you. It's not epiphany that I had, or definitely not a moment of sudden realization, but it's more like a blunt truth of life. Fellow Toastmasters, I stand in front of a wide crowd, speak freely, share my thoughts and ideas, and also at times get a few claps from all the wonderful people in the crowd. And that really fills my heart with joy and happiness. But if I close my eyes and ask myself a question, that what was that has helped me achieve this feat, or what was that actually helped me achieve this front, or who has been responsible for helping me to reach this stage, nurture me slowly and gradually. In other words, I have been a protege once, and I'm really thankful to that person in this very Toastmaster fraternity who has helped me in many ways to reach the forum, to reach the stage that I am currently. A need of a sensei or the need of or a mentor in life is invaluable. It's indispensable. And I'm sure each and every people in this room are going to agree with that thought. Let me share a small example. My Toastmaster journey. Day one of Adobe Toastmasters, the very first day I came to that meeting, I was listening to two wonderful speakers. They were on stage, they were giving out a speech, and I was sitting on the last bench listening to the speech. I was thinking, uh, could better. After 30 minutes, one named table topic master called me up. My name was pronounced saying Subhadeep can come on stage. So I went there. Believe me or not, started walking the last bench to the first. I was literally shaking. I could feel my heartbeat pounding at 130 beats per minute. And he asked me to speak on a certain topic. And I was barely able to say 5 words. I, Shubhadeep, Shubhadeep, thank you. That was all I said in my very top speech. Within a week span, someone assigned me a mentor, and I listened to my mentor very often. And trust me, she was a wonderful speaker. She could speak endlessly on stage without the slightest notification of fear on her face. She used to guide me after every speech, asked me to practice. But the very important or the most valuable advice that she gave me was to speak fearlessly. Just imagine the world to be your stage, and until and unless you're able to speak, you're not gonna emerge as a winner. Till today, I'm in touch with that person, and the level of constructive feedback that I've received has really helped me on every step. And even today, after my speech, I definitely gonna share this speech with that person. Remember, in the Toastmaster fraternity, you are always assigned a mentor, and of course that relationship with the mentor and the mentee is very crucial. You can do wonders. And for a mentor, just before you take up the role of being a mentor, put yourself in that shoe. Just imagine the days when you were a mentee, and treat your mentee in such a way, with compassion, with constructive feedback, so that
We
Subhadeep,
lost
we've
him.
gone.
We lost him.
Subhadeep, we can't hear you, Subhadeep.
I think he has to rejoin.
I can view him in the list. He's on mute.
Uh, uh,
Host, can you unmute him? Let's see. Maybe he muted himself.
He's joined back. Subhadeep, are you able to hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, please continue.
All right. I just completed my speech. I'm not sure how far you were able to hear. I completed the entire speech. Or I can go at the end. You can continue the table topics. I can speak once again at the end. That's fine. If you're not able to hear me.
No,
So we can hear you. You can go on.
let's finish it off.
Okay. I just completed
So,
actually.
Shubhadeep, what you were saying, the last one, no? That someone has helped you about the table topic of rules, and then you said, okay, as a mentee, you should also help be compassionate, and then from that compassionate thing, we lost you.
Got,
Okay, so just continue from there.
got it. Let
Yeah.
sure continue from there. So in this fraternity, this is a platform. And having a mentor is very important. The reason is from what I from my when I was a prodigy, that person, she was a wonderful speaker. She would speak on stage endlessly without the slightest gram of fear on her face. And she one of the most valuable piece of advice the person gave me was to think the world as your stage, and you need to perform in order to emerge as a winner. Until today, I do follow her advice. I reach out to her even today for a constructive feedback on any of my speeches. And for every mentor today, just imagine before you take up the role of a mentor, remember you are nurturing an individual from step one. That that's very important, because think yourself, put yourself in that shoe of a prodigy, because one day you are also a mentor, right? So remember, a mentor is someone who helps you find hope within yourself. Thank you, and over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Toastmasters, Shubhadeep, for excellent speech. And I can connect to you because what you said now as a mentor, and you walk the talk. I personally have been inspired with the way you have been taking. In fact, I was not imagining that I would complete my advanced communication goal. The way you started and where you were sharing your achievements, which indirectly motivated me. Ah, if Shubhadeep can do, why can't? And in fact, I reached out to you and you were always there to help me. Thank you for that. Excellent one. So, friends, so we are prepared the session one, the test match sessions. Now we are going to do a 2020 session. For that, we have a ring master, or I would say table topic master, a gentleman whom I knew for the last couple of years. I met him during our yoga session, our meditation session. And I have to notice the way he was encouraging everyone with any help. So he also walks the talk when it comes to empathy. Any help, whether it's in the yoga session, putting the mats properly, removing the mats, even if no one does, he will take trouble of that. Even if at all any arrangements are required, without thinking iota of doubt, he will pay from his own pocket and put that hall in order. So please join me in welcoming the table topic master for today, Toastmaster Joseph Benedict. Joseph Benedict.
Thank you, Milind, for your wonderful introduction to me. I really appreciate your words. And today, fellow Toastmasters, I am going to give you a beautiful topics for the table topics. The table topics are generally a mind training subject where one has to instantly pick up and start speaking. It will give you an inspiration while talking for 2 minutes as a one subject you have asked initially. So I would like everyone to participate wholeheartedly in this table topic and win the applause of other members. Now, the first topic would be I will call upon Bidu Das. The topic is if you could switch lives with anyone currently for an entire day, who would it be? If you could switch lives with anyone currently for an entire day, who would it be? Toastmaster Bidu Das.
Thank you, Toastmasters Joseph. So my topic, if I could switch life with someone for a day, who that person would be? I would pick a doctor, and quite frankly, because the current situation we are in, I understand there are a lot of doctors who are working 24 hours a day for the last 2 months, and if I could relieve their pressure by switching their lives, I would be happy to do that. It would also allow me to use my energy that I have saved for the last 3 months to in a very positive way by helping some patients, by relieving some pressure over the frontline workers, and I would be grateful for that opportunity. The other reason why I chose to become a frontline worker and trade lives with them is that we all cherish the ability to enthuse a life in someone's enthuse life into someone. So if I can in some way help a person relieve the disease and be happy in his life again, it would be a great achievement for me, and that's how I want to look at it. Thank you, and over to you, Toastmasters.
That is very wonderful, Bidu Das. You are really having an empathy, I would say, with all the people who are suffering. And that is very kind of you to think like that. Thank you so much. Now, the second topic would be, how did you meet your best friend? I would like to call upon Toastmaster Shanan. How did you meet your best friend? Toastmaster Shannon.
Yeah. So how I met my best friend? My best friend is Chaitra. She is my engineering friend actually. So it was something like this. She had come after few days. So I had hidden her umbrella in some other's place, and she kept searching for it everywhere. And that's how I didn't know her, but I went and told that, okay, I have hidden your umbrella. Then we started speaking, and it was like from 6 7 years we are best friends. Uh, so yeah, that's one. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Shannon. It is really wonderful to meet your friend accidentally and giving her a little bit of surprise. That's very good of you. Now, the next topic would be, what motivates you? This goes to a table topic, Toastmaster Mayur. What motivates you?
Just a second. Yes. So
Srinu, take
like
time.
I will note it. I'll start it by myself. Okay. So for everyone, what motivates me? So I start my morning with a cup of coffee and my exercise, which I follow regularly as a routine. So I exercise 5 days a week. Sometimes I go for a walk. Sometimes I listen to a podcast. Few months back when I joined Toastmaster as a guest, so Srinu told me that you should listen Brian Tracy podcast. That was quite motivational for me. And then all of a sudden, COVID came into our life. So I was listening and completing bit by bit. So that gave me motivation a lot for quite some time. And after that, I found few other motivational podcasts like Simon Sinek. He changed a lot of things. He told me about lot of things of life, how you face every situation and overcome difficulties in your life. With that, we can get we can achieve anything if you have motivations. To get motivations, one should start with meditation or exercise. If in this time currently we don't do any exercise, so it will activate our brain cell and all. This will give you motivations. Over to you, Toastmaster Joseph.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster Mayur. It's very nice of you to take up so many things in your life and which is motivating you and really you are enjoying too. Thank you so much. Now over to Sunesh, Toastmaster Sunesh. What is something you have always wanted to try but have been too afraid to? I repeat, what is something you have always wanted to try but have been too afraid to? Toastmaster Sunesh.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters. There are many things I wanted to try in my life. I remember, still remember, in college when I got the opportunity to be the class representative of the class, since I got the highest marks in academics. But I turned it down because of the fear. The responsibility comes along with the taking up the challenge of being the class representative. Till today, I feel the regret for not having taken up. So now whenever opportunity comes to me to take up any new activity or task, I always do that. I grab that opportunity and try not to give it up. But there are still things which I'm afraid to do. For example, I would like to go for skydiving. That is something I would really like to do, but I'm afraid of the heights. And I don't know, given the opportunity, if I can be able to do that or not. Because skydiving is something, it really inspires me. It is something like flying in the sky from so much height, but also it gives you a near death experience, both thrilling experience as well as I would say a near death experience in one package. So skydiving is something I would really like to do in some point of time in my life before I really turn old and may not have the health to do that. So that is something I would really love to do. Thank you and over to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you, Sunesh, for this wonderful experience of yours. And it is really one has to take a courage to do something which is very dare. At the same time, you have to take risk of it also sometimes. And you have really attempted, and it is always your say is the last word. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sunesh. Now, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Raja. What is your hidden talent? Toastmaster Raja, what is your hidden talent?
Well, thank you so much, for giving me opportunities to speak about the questions on the table topics. Uh, about the hidden talent, I have so much talents that I'm not sure like what's hidden, but according to me, I would like to express because you show the talent based on the talent you're being judged. So, although there are certain talents that are hidden, maybe driving, driving fast in the in the roads or something. These talents are something which because it's hidden because it's not good, or I don't know how you categorize the talent as, but there are certain things that people not aware, like maybe I'm good at kind of in because I usually work in IT, and people are not aware, but there's no actually, to be honestly, there's no such talent as I encountered that people, I missed people, to inform about it, or people are not aware of. But I'm not sure honestly what my hidden talent is, that everything what my talents are people are aware of it, honestly. So is that what the question, or is there anything that the different way of you're asking?
Actually, what I mean is the hidden talent means that you have in your life exhibited something which is what I could say a surprise way of work or speech or your action or whatever it is that is in you, so that the people are really appreciating your spurt of action in that moment. So that is what I mean, the hidden talent, which once given a chance, you have shown to others that you can do that. So that is the main thing. Anyway,
All right.
thank you so much for your
Sure.
thank you so much for your speech on that subject.
Sure.
Now coming to Toastmaster Rajesh, what is something you have tried but would never do again? I repeat, what is something you have tried but would never do again? Toastmaster Rajesh.
I would like to recall your memories which I had tried something in my childhood. One day, I was fond of some Superman stories or Superman series. When I was in the top of my house, the terrace, at that time I was age of around 8 years. There was some of my friends, they were standing downstairs, and I was telling them, hey, I'm going to do something now. I'm going to try something. I am going to do jumping. My friends were challenging me. Hey, you cannot do jump. You cannot jump from this top of this building. The height would be around 20 feet. And there was downstairs, there was sand. Some sand was there. At the age of 8, without knowing that risk, without knowing the impact, I jumped from the building and I got a fracture in my leg. The same day night, I got punished. Above that, I got punishment from my father. And then I was living for some time, and it took some time to recover from that stage. That is the one thing I don't want to try again. And I had a good lesson from that one incident. That's all. Thank you so much.
Well, and Rajesh, it is really, you have taken a risk in breaking your leg also. That was a very, I would say it is a bad attempt. It's not a good attempt unless you have equipped with so many other things so that you can save your limbs or anything like that. So anyway, that's a very good experience you had and you will never do again. Now, I think I should close this topic of table topics, and I thank every one of you who are really given an inspiring story of each one of you. Thank you so much. Over to Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Joseph, for excellent topic selection and where you were signing up with after every topic given with your inputs. And Toastmaster, let's give a round of applause to Toastmaster Joseph. I presume this is the first time he's acting as a Toast table topic master. Great job. So with 2020 over, now it's time for the post-match session. For that, we have someone like Sunil Gavaskar in Toastmaster. Of course, he's also from a Mumbai. So please join me in welcoming DTM Arvind. Over to Arvind, sir.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. My predilection to help other clubs perform well is what has brought me here. And thank you for the opportunity to be a general evaluator. We shall begin with the evaluation of the prepared speeches. And for that, may I call upon Ashwin to give the evaluation for Srini's speech, please.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Um, Good evening, everyone, and good evening specifically to my target speaker, Srinu. First of all, thanks a lot, Srinu, for sharing those insights with us. I felt this was a very interesting from the start. I'm sure the audience might have also felt the same. Before getting into the actual evaluation criteria for this speech project, let me just first talk how I felt at an overall level. I've noticed that you have started with a song at the top of your voice. Actually, this helped capture the attention of the audience from the very start. Very well done there. It was a very well delivered speech with aptly conveyed message through your story. If you feel the life is closed, don't forget there is always a second opinion, a second option. Uh, Now, coming to the actual evaluation criteria for the speech project, that's mostly on the vocal variety. As I mentioned earlier, you're very good with the loud voice that you started with, which actually captured the attention of the audience. You showed a lot of enthusiasm in your voice, which kept the audience hooked to your speech without losing the attention. Again, kudos for that. You have articulated the entire story well. I've also observed a use of good pauses. However, I thought it could be improved a little bit more by giving a little bit more pauses between the conversation that you're having with your doctor, so that the emotions can also sink in a little bit with the audience. The transitions during your conversations with your doctor, yourself and the doctor, was definitely visible. However, I feel that it could be improved a little bit more by portraying a little bit more emotions as per the situation. Um, all in all, I felt it was a really good speech with a good vocal variety that you had portrayed, and your confidence level was really good. However, I still believe that there are some scope of improvement in the case of the pauses, as well as uh, conveying the emotions a little bit more. I hope you would be able to do much better in your upcoming speeches. And looking forward to more and more interesting and exciting speeches from you, Toastmaster Srinu. All the best, and thank you. And over to you, Mr. Generally well.
Thank you, Ashwin. And now may I call upon Toastmaster Fidel to give the evaluation for Deepa's speech. Toastmaster Fidel.
Am I audible? Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Yes,
Thank
you
you.
are.
Deepa, thank you very much for a very excellent and entertaining speech. I want to start by going through the areas which I felt you excelled, the areas which I feel you may want to work on, and then I'd like to throw a challenge at you, and then I'll recap everything that I have said, just so you keep it in mind. Your introduction was excellent. The whole visualization exercise of Christopher Reeves as Superman with his underpants outside of his tights was fantastic. Drew us in. We could see what you're talking about, and it put a smile on our faces immediately. And you actually nailed the humor. I got the sense that you had a very clear understanding of how to execute on telling jokes. Your punchlines were there. Your setups were clear. Your jokes wove the way through absurdity, through dual meanings, through exaggeration. I like the way in which everything was framed around how the life of being a Toastmaster is exaggerated in Toastmasters Renu's life. And from that, we drew a lot of laughs. So I really enjoyed that aspect of the speech. An area where I think you may want to work on would be making the through line of the roast a bit more clear. What do I mean? If you watch stand-up comedians, you'll notice that they tell a story that has a beginning, a middle, and an end. They go to a place, they meet someone, they're walking down the road, something of that nature. But they tell a story that has a distinct beginning, middle, and end. I felt you had 2 or 3 stories that had a beginning and a middle and not an end. And in that way, if you could establish a more clear through line between these different aspects of telling a story, because you did have elements of stories but were not completed, I think it would have, the roast would have been even much more effective. And I think stand-up comedians are a very good example of that we can learn from, especially from the term itself, stand-up comedy. You know, they do it standing up. I guess that's why they're called stand-up comedians. They stand up. And I've seen a few of your speeches now, Toastmaster Deepa, and I've noticed that you have a predilection for sitting down as you give your speeches. And I would just like to throw out a challenge to you to consider doing one speech standing up. Perhaps you've done it before. I think I've seen 3 of your speeches. I've never seen you standing up yet. So I'd like to throw out a challenge to you. This would have been a beautiful occasion to do stand-up comedy while standing up. So perhaps you might want to challenge yourself and do one of your next speeches coming up standing up. So in summary, the jokes were fantastic. The delivery was excellent. However, you may want to work on creating a beginning, middle, and end in your humorous storytelling and sticking to one story. And as a challenge, consider standing up while delivering your next speech. Thank you very much. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, Fidel. And now may I invite Toastmaster Vandana to give the evaluation for Subhadeep's speech, please. Toastmaster Vandana.
On mute. Okay. Thank you, DTM Arvind. So I was attending Toastmasters meeting as a guest for a while, but then I finally joined. And then there was a humorous speech contest. And so I joined, and 2 days later, it's the contest. So I didn't have time to get a mentor. And suddenly I just recorded my speech, send it to Toastmaster Vivek, and he helped me. So when I think of these moments of mentorship, I have many people in this club, and it's a very relatable story that you chose. Very apt for the topic about how you were not a prodigy and how you became, which has been proven before, your accomplishments in Toastmasters. But the thing is, I feel that there are few things that you can work on. You have a great, screen presence. When you walk off the stage, when you talk, your voice, even your accent, the way you use your English language, everything is excellent. So how can you use this to your advantage? Firstly, the title, when I heard She Who Helps You Find Hope Inside Yourself, I thought you're probably either going to talk about your mother or you're going to talk about maybe a love of your life. So it was nice to hear that it was something about Toastmasters. But how can we do a speech where even a non-Toastmaster or a guest can understand? So maybe making it more clear what a mentorship program is in Toastmasters, because that's what we talk about, audience awareness, right? Anyone who is listening to the speech should be able to understand what it is. Gestures, till you got disconnected, we could not see your hands. But I realized that after you gave one go at the speech, you didn't realize that you got disconnected. And when you joined in, we could see some part of your hands. Interest, definitely you got all of us hooked on, because we've all been there, gone on stage and got stuck either before Toastmasters or like in school. And this is why we joined Toastmasters, right? To get over that fear of, being able to talk in front of people. Eye contact, you had great eye contact. But I will really come to the main point is, so you've reached a level and it is quite an accomplishment, the number of speeches you've given. I've seen you speak in different styles, in different projects. And so you have the capacity to be dramatic. So when you come on stage and talk about, you forgot and you just said, I am Subhadeep. How can you make it more dramatic? And, like some humor where, or, enacting how nervous you are is something you could have worked on. So you had the time to log in. Basically, we had a test, dial at 3:30. So I think it is important. Like if it's a magician or a dancer, they will look at the stage, especially a singer. They will do a mic check, right? So I think it is important for you to, if you know that you're having network issues, it's important to log in and make sure that you're able to kind of, if you have issues. But kudos to you to even giving the speech from a car. I hope you will challenge yourself a little more in terms of preparation of giving the speech. But otherwise, great speech, Subhadeep. Give a round of applause. Thank you. Over to you, DTM Arvind.
For all the speeches. And now may I invite the timer to give the timing report for all the speeches today.
Yeah. Thank you, Toastmaster Arvind. So today we had quite a few wonderful speeches and very good table topic sessions. For first speech, Srinu, he took 7 minutes 4 seconds, and his evaluator Ashwin took 2 minutes 35 seconds. For Subhadeep, it was 5 minutes 30 seconds, and for his evaluator Vandana took 3 minutes 10 seconds. For Deepa's speech, it was 5 minutes 15 seconds, and his evaluator Fidel took 3 minutes 5 seconds. Coming to the very interesting session we called 2020, that was table topics. Mr. Das took 1 minute 26 seconds. Shanan took 40 seconds. I myself took 1 minute 37 seconds. And Shunish took 1 minute 48 seconds. Raja took 1 minute 20 seconds. Rajesh took 1 minute 24 seconds. And for the table topic, Shannon is disqualified and every other one is qualified. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Mayur. And now may I invite, I think you can now, do you have a voting for the best speakers and evaluators? I think you can, the person needs to put up the link.
The voting link is, is provided for everything at the end, totally.
At the end, all right. Thank you. And now we will have the grammarian give his report for the meeting today.
Thank you, Toastmasters Arvind. So, some of the good usage that I found today was the use of the term walk the talk. I like the way people use the word prodigy instead of genius. Fraternity was used instead of group. And heartbeat founding, the usage actually made the feeling very palpable. I also like the term roast. I would like to appreciate Toastmasters Arvind and Fidel who use the word predilection. Some of the not so good uses of grammar include beautiful, amazing, very excellent. So these words do not require adjective over adjective. It can be amazing or it can be excellent. Someone used a few months back. I think it can be replaced with a couple of months back. And there was uses of the sentence really turn old, and we should use it turn really old. With this, I give it over to you, Toastmasters Arvind.
Thank you, Toastmaster, for this for the report. And now may I call upon the R counter to give the report, please.
Yeah. So it was wonderful listening to all the speeches. In my report, Srinu did one quotation, two crutch words, and filler words like are. Then Deepa used are three times and repeated words twice. Subhadeep used once. And next for the table topics, Vidhu used crush words like one time and R two times, and it pauses at one place. Mayur R thrice and pauses at two places. Sunish pauses crutch words and R once. Raja used R twice, several times, and uncle several times. Rajesh did not have any CRPFs. So yeah, that was my report. Over to you, Vidhu.
Thank you for the R counters report. And now for my general observations of the meeting. We began the meeting. There may be a little, I'll probably be looking at the way we do it and perhaps suggest something, but this is only my suggestion. And you being, this being the 563rd meeting, I'm sure you have come a long way and would have formed your own reasons and method to have your meeting. But these are some of my observations and my observations that we had the terms begin the meeting at 17:01, which was 1 minute late today. He opened the meeting and spoke on empathy. We then handed over to the presiding officer, Srinu, who welcomed the guests and also spoke on the theme for today and introduced the Toastmaster of the day. As far as we are concerned, the Sergeant at Arms has to mention the mission of the Toastmasters Club, which I did not hear, because if you have guests, it's so wonderfully prepared by Toastmasters. Every word is so beautiful and has a deep meaning that you have guests turn into members because they can hear what is being said. So I would recommend that the Sergeant at Arms begins the meeting, lays down the rules, and also mentions the mission of the Toastmasters Club. Toastmaster Srinu, I would recommend that we normally have the presiding officer normally uses the gavel, but here in a virtual meeting, we don't use the gavel. So we can either have a thump on the table or a clap to say, I declare open 563rd meeting open. Something to that effect, because it's a meeting. And you need to do that when you begin a meeting as the presiding officer. Now, the theme of the day is actually the prerogative of the Toastmaster of the day. And in our clubs, we do not touch, nobody touches on the theme of the day. Nobody will speak on the theme of the day other than the Toastmaster of the day. I love the way the Toastmaster, I must appreciate the way the Toastmaster of the day has come attired for the meeting. And I know that there was a lot of preparation that went in much before, because he contacted me, and I'm sure he would have contacted the others to get the response to his question so that he can fabricate the introduction, which was very well done. He had a lovely opening, and yes, the prop that he used got me really thirsty with the glass that he offered. He introduced each speaker well. We need to be very careful when we say, can we have the evaluator read the objectives of the speech? And we won't say, can we have her evaluator see, the evaluator evaluates the speech and not the speaker. So we've been very careful in saying to evaluate the speech. We have to say the speech and not say evaluate so and so. We had the grammarian give the day the word for the day, and I loved the word today. And yes, his report was comprehensive, because we just had 15 members here and the speakers did use good language. In our part of the town, that we do not raise our thumb when a speaker uses the word of the day, for the simple reason that why is a grammarian taking up a role? It is to improve on his listening skills. And if we just raise our thumb and if he's not attentive, you are depriving him of improving on his listening skills, because the moment he sees the thumbs up, he would just write down, yes, so and so use the word once, twice, whatever. And also, it gives a chance for the people, the members, to use it, just use it without whether it is applicable or not, just to receive the thumbs up and to feel good. So we need to, I would suggest that we need to avoid having you to raise the thumb. The counter did a good job, gave the report. I would love that. See, every role player has a script that we have prepared for just 30 seconds and nothing more. So I would love that if every role player stuck to the script, so that we need, because time is of the essence in a meeting, and we need to begin and end on time. And the three main people here are the Toastmaster of the day, the table topic master, and the GE, who need to ensure that, so if somebody eats into somebody else's time, then you need to reduce so that you finish the meeting on time. Now, the R counter mentioned there's a better way of saying things in the English language. If somebody has used a word, if you say one time, two times, or three times, there's a word for it in English, and it's better to use a word to say once, twice, and thrice. And if it's more than that, you could say four times, five times, etc. So I would recommend that we use the better word. The timer of the day did a good job. I would love if the timer spoke only for that particular slot, rather than giving the timings for all the three. And now if you had guests today, they wouldn't understand what the timing was. So you need to have, only for the prepared speeches, you need, when the speaker reaches the midpoint, the minimum point, I would display the green card, the midpoint, the yellow card. And this is not a traffic light, so let's avoid using amber, because it's a yellow card. We display the yellow card, and when it reaches the maximum time allotted, it's the red card. We need to be very specific in saying that you have 30 seconds before the red and before the green and after the red to complete your speech. And even in table topics, it was generalized, because you have the 30 seconds only after the red and not before the green. We need to call the timer at every slot, so that it's reinforced what the timing is. Table topic master had wonderful speakable topics today. And I know, I was looking at the number of participants we have, and considering the role players and the speakers today, we were left with just 3 people who were either members, guests, or members or visiting Toastmasters. And yes, we would recommend that we do not give the role players or the speakers a chance for the table topics, and it could be given only to the people who are not having a speaking role today. What I loved today was, going by the mission of the Toastmasters Club, how we helped and supported Stubendu, the whole members, how they supported him, though it fell when the bandwidth went down and he came back. I loved that. So these are things that we need to, and I would love if the timer also said that, and that's why I asked for the agenda, to know the exact timings, because the timer needs, when he's called after each section, he needs to say that we are X minutes beyond time, so that the next person, if it's the table topic master, he knows he needs to reduce the number of topics that he needs to give, so that he can complete it in that slot that is allocated to him. So these are things that we need to look at. These were some of the observations. Probably you are doing it in a different way. But I loved the meeting, and thank you for the opportunity to be here and to be a general evaluator. Over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, DTM Arvind, for excellent evaluation. We'll absorb and we'll try to implement as early as possible. And there are very authentic observations coming from your heart with your experience. You may not recall, I met you or I saw you on the stage last year at the annual conference in Pune, and where that opening ceremony, you had a ethnic dress, so you came with that wingy, came-like wingy, and the moment that opening ceremony was over, the parade was over, you changed over to jacket and everything in a jiffy. So that, since you talked about my attire, I recollected the way you did that. And today also I noticed that you're wearing a t-shirt with Toastmasters. So you really walk the talk when you serve the Toastmaster every way. Thank you for joining, and we look forward for you to join again and again. So Toastmasters, again, just please ensure that you log into the voting link which is shared on the chat and give your votes to best speaker, best role taker, best ancillary speakers, and best table topic speakers. So with this, I'm signing off and handing it over to the presiding officer. Cheers.
Thank you, Milind. Such a wonderful event this evening. Thank you, all the role takers whoever stood for us this wonderful meeting. Now, I request all the members cast your vote. I'm just giving 1 minute. Please cast your vote. Yeah, while considering the report, I have a small announcement.
Can everyone turn on their cameras?
Yeah, can you please everyone turn on the cameras? Yeah, Mayur, once again, I have a small announcement. My dear members, this term almost about to end. We have just 3 weeks away. So we are responsible to select upcoming officer bearer. So we are planning to conduct an election on 22nd of this month. Okay, my dear members, this is a great journey. Definitely, you will see wonders if you choose this leadership path. I suggest, I urge each and everyone, uh, send your nomination. Soon you will get a nomination email. You have to send nomination for all 7 officer bearers. We will send all the requirements and all the information regarding these officer bearers. Yeah, that's all from the announcement. Now, please turn on your video and give a bright pose. Everyone, yes, feather, awesome. My dear members, everyone smile. Mayur, all
All
said. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, Deepa is votes are ready.
Yes.
Consolidate.
Yes, the votes are ready. So, Toastmasters and guests, here are the results for today's meeting. I'll first go with the best tag role player. The best role player goes to Timer Mayur.
thank you.
The best evaluator, it goes to Toastmaster Fidel. Now turn to the best table topic speaker, and the winner is Toastmaster Rajesh. The best speaker goes to Toastmaster Deepa. And the best role taker goes to TTM Arvind. That's it. I'm done with the results. Over to you, President.
Yeah, thanks to everyone once again. Thank you, Arvind sir and Fidel and Shunis for joining and helping in this meeting. And my dear neighborhood friend Rajesh also helped as a SAA. Thanks everyone. Stay safe and stay healthy. Happy week ahead. Bye
Thank you.
everyone.
Arvind sir, I really want to know
Yeah, Vandana.
your feedback on my evaluation. Yeah, I really want to know your feedback on my evaluation because I'm a very young evaluator.
I think we'll take it offline. I will send you the
Yeah,
message
sure.
offline.
Okay, great. Yeah, all right. Thank you so much.
If the meeting has already been closed,
Yes.
Yes, with
yeah,
that,
okay.
yeah, with that I'm adjourning
So are we having? Okay, so you have adjourned the meeting. All right. So are we now having general talk or fellowship?
we can, yeah, we can talk generally.
All right. It's great, I must say, to be here. And I take every opportunity I can get to go wherever and whoever needs me and calls me. So it's nice to see various types of meetings and perhaps a little insight that I have, having been a Toastmaster for 12 years. Perhaps we feel that these meetings, the way we have our meeting structured, is a reason